Singapore water supplies is heavily reliant on the imported water from Malaysia. And actually currently Singapore has two water agreement with Malaysia. One water agreement already expired in year 2011 and another one is actually will expire in year 2061. And due to the political uncertainty between Malaysia and Singapore, and Malaysia also may possible cancel the water agreement in times. So with all those uncertainty, actually it threaten Singapore water supplies in future. In the meanwhile, we also foresee the population for Singapore also will continue increase. Actually, the government project that the population will increase around 25% in year 2030, and then for the water demand also will be double in 2060. With the rising of the water demands and the less choice on the water supplies, actually we really need to take some action to see what we can do to have a sustainable water supplies for Singapore future. So with the economic growth in Singapore, actually it's also attract a lot of tourists come to Singapore. With the tourists come in, actually it's have a benefit to Singapore economics, but in another side it also have some threat on the sustainable for Singapore, because tourists will bring in the pollution, and they also will have some food wastage and the water wastage. For example, you can see is as tourists is very enjoy on the travel experience. So sometimes they will leftover water bottle like this. Actually, it's really a very big water wastage. And do you know, it's actually for Singapore now is if you go to all the 7-Eleven, one bottle of water, the price already expensive. If we continue behave like this, the water price will continue increase, and maybe in sooner future, we will be short of water and we are unable to have a sustainable Singapore future. Hi Connie, you finished your lunch?
Yeah, I finished already.
Oh, but you left over so many. The water you also cannot finish.
I'm very full. Is it any wrong?
Wow, actually it's this kind of wastage of food and water is very bad to the society and the environment.
Is it?
Yeah, of course. Because you see the wastage of the food is not only linked to the poverty problem, actually it's also impact the water management problem. Actually, I did some study I can show you.
Sure.
For example, like the rice. Actually, make of the rice is consumption 2,497 liters per kg. So actually, the one you left over here is not only waste for the food, it's also waste for the water already. And it will link to the water shortage problem.
Okay, how about meat?
Oh yeah, actually the meat is even worse. I notice you are a person very like to eat the meat, right?
Yes.
Actually you should take note is actually the meat is consume more waters. So for example, is chicken, every kg chicken actually take 4,325 liters water, and for pork is consumed 5,988. And you must take note is beef is the worst one. Is for beef, every kg actually consume 50k liters waters. So means is if everyone every day consume 8,000 liters waters, if you waste 1 kg beef, means is you can consume 2 days liters 2 days water already.
That's a lot.
Yeah, it's really a lot. So this one I think is in future, besides you really need to think of don't waste the food, and you also can think of is whether you want to have a more consumption on the veggie side.
Oh, okay.
Because for the vegetable is I did some study is if you eat the same kg, veggie consume less water. Okay. So you can see is actually like a cabbage, tomato, and cucumber. Actually, they only consume around 200 and 300 water. So it also can meet your diet problem, also good to your health, also safe for the water.
It's good for my health also.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, thanks for sharing, Zirong.
Yeah,
I
so-
will share this with my friends, family, and others also.
Yeah, so
Thank
maybe
you.
in future is you can talk with all your friends, and I
Yeah.
think all the community we need to take some change our behavior and to see what we can contribute on the sustainable water in future.
Okay, now I only realize how important is the water and how is the food wastage affect the water.
Okay.
Thank you.
Singapore, as a city of garden and water, it attracts more and more people come to Singapore. Last year, the tourist arrival and spending hit historic high in Singapore. It's around 6 million tourists come to Singapore in 2016. It's increased around 7.7% compared with 2015. In a bright side, the more tourists will bring more economic growth for Singapore. In another side is more tourists also will come give us more society and environment problems. Because there is no educational drive, the responsibility and the water wastage. And also wastage in Singapore actually will hit Singapore's sustainable development, and we need find a way to see how to balance it and how to build a sustainable environment with this kind of increase of tourism.
We having limited resource, limited land, like sea. We are facing the seas and so on, and we have a limited reservoir that like Marachi Reservoir and so on. But the government having do the quite good job, like the Marina Barrage or build. That is the one that costs a lot of money, but this is a very good system, and they learn from the US for freshwater sustainability for the whole Singapore, or for the next 30 or 40 years planning on that. You can see that this is the water is actually flown all over the canals, and a lot of water we have some of the, and economically also helpful to the society.
So Kalu, can you share with us how what's the business innovative initiative to have the reduce, reuse, retrain, and recycle of the waters to have a sustainable business models?
Behind this building is actually a new initiative and new technology, but it is not a difficult rocket science. It's a simple, like you can see the plants down there. You need the people to water it to this plant, right? You need a lot of spend about manpower. You need to spend about the water bills, because you see Singapore have a sustainable development of water. So fresh water usage, we need to be very concerned on it. The bills is very high. So whoever uses this building, you need to pay a lot of this gardening works. Is it's like you can use a green, but it won't give you so much in a business sense, right? So let's say like this kind of the plant like that, you can see simple, but you can tell me how the people will go then for their plant to be watery, right? But this is self-sustained. If we use a rainwater, they collect it. At the below have a tank. This tank can be circulated without manpower usage. There is a sensor to enough water usage of this plant to be, and they will always circulated on this. So this means this plant will give you is a self-sustained with the rainwater. We don't even no need to use a building management to the water itself. It will be self-sustained. We have a PCA Skylab. Just now we are having taken on the front. You can see the whole building have some solar energy. That is so-called the sustainable itself electricity, and they don't need to rely on anything. And that is a good for the sharing of the society. The building plan of the water saving, that is a actually good sense to share to the society as well, to the like less aircon usage and less heat having permitting out from the building and so on and so forth. That is actually help to the so much on the society. As you can see, Singapore is a small island, and the country's biggest challenge is the freshwater sustainability. The climate change has big impact on Singapore weather. and a neighboring country, and it will cause Singapore freshwater become like very unpredictable. Meanwhile, Singapore population is growing, in such the demand of freshwater becoming growing and challenges as well. Due to economic growth, the freshwater usage on infrastructure is growing as well, such as usage on construction, plantation, manufacturing industry, cleaning industry are going to increase as well. Another thing is the tourist arrival is increase the economy, but the lack of responsible tourists, this also is part of the education and advertising are not there, and the growing of the the contributing of factors of the tourists is economic growing, but the freshwater wastage and food wastage are growing as well. Okay, to manage all this effectively on the challenges of freshwater sustainability, the community, government, and business need to work hand in hand. Following are the helpful messages to develop multi-scale approach to the sustainable water. And all these good practices combined, we believe that our future generation will get the same opportunity like us to get the sustainable water resources. Thank you.